Welcome to Pub Talk, the unofficial official craft beer podcast of Oklahoma, where we're all about the three B's, beer, buddies, and bullshit. I'm Jeremy, and I'm joined as always by a guy who's groomed to do a podcast in a new tap room, Michael.
Hello, hello.
Today we're coming to you from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, where we have the pleasure of visiting BA's newest brewery, the Nook. We'll talk about how they got their start, what the first several months of being open to the public have been like, and more. Before we get into it, make sure you hit the subscribe button wherever you're listening or watching so you never miss an episode. Check us out on social media at Pub Talk Podcast and on the web at pubtalkpodcast.com. All right, let's get started. First of all, thank you guys for having us.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Yeah,
Appreciate
pleasure
it.
to have you.
We usually like to start these spotlight episodes out, just kind of letting you guys do a quick introduction for yourselves and tell us who you are.
Larry Foster. I'm the dad in the operation.
Alex Foster, I'm the son in the operation.
Right on. Well, let's start with just kind of the story of the Nook and how you got the name and kind of got things going here.
So, when we were growing up, my brother and I, we had a fire pit in our parents' backyard, and it became kind of a hangout spot for our friends and us. And so it became cumbersome to call it, let's go to the fire pit and have a fire at the Foster's house, or let's go hang out at the Foster's backyard. So we named it. We needed to name it something, and we chose to call it the Nook because it was kind of in the corner of the backyard, kind of under some trees and stuff. So we called it the Nook. So whenever we wanted to go hang out there, we'd say, let's have a Nook, or let's go to the Nook. So it kind of just naturally fit that it was a place. It was something that had sentimental value to us, and it kind of worked, the Nook Brewing Company. So it also kind of doubles up too, that the NO and OK can be northern Oklahoma, kind of a location thing as well. So it fit pretty nicely, and we wanted to have that same kind of feel of, if you were looking for something to do or somewhere to go hang out, go to the Nook. So
Makes sense?
yeah, awesome.
Right on.
How did y'all get your start with craft beer?
I went to Oklahoma State in Stillwater, and when I was there, I worked on a ranch, and the guy that owned the ranch homebrewed, and he taught me how to do it while I was in college. So I picked up the hobby then. I was very bad at it when I started, like most homebrewers are. And I was in college, so I didn't have much money, so I didn't have the ability to buy the right equipment, or it was pretty bad stuff. But after I got out of college, picked up the hobby a little bit more intently and got more detailed into it. Kept learning, brewed for 4 years, and then my parents retired in Minnesota and moved down here, and we started brewing together. So it became a father-son hobby that we used to. It was a great way to spend an afternoon together in a shared hobby, and it was good for us to. We kind of pushed each other. We like different styles, so it forced us to brew stuff that was outside of our comfort zone, to help us really get a good broad range of knowledge on a lot of different styles, instead of just the ones that like I liked or just the ones he liked. So helped us kind of blend our styles and learn about a lot more different things than we would have apart, and it kind of just grew from there.
Yeah, a little bit more complicated, and we started entering competitions, and we won a gold in the Midwest regional competition.
Awesome.
That's when we kind of decided, get in or get out. So we got in.
Yeah. Well, you picked a hell of a time to get in. You guys opened in the middle of a pandemic. How's that been?
We probably couldn't have picked a worse time. Once the week after we signed on to this building was the first COVID lockdown. So we kind of went, oh, what do we do? And we said, hey, we're in, let's go for it. We got to build out anyway, hoping for the best. And we ended up opening, our first official open day was December 11th. So we opened right at Christmas, right during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And then right after that, we had those 3 or 4 days of 0-degree weather. Everything froze. Yeah. So we thought, heck, if we can do that, we can make it here. So
Yeah.
Can you talk to us a little bit about the brewery, the size, and maybe the tap room layout?
Yep, we have 5,000 square feet total of accessible area. it's pretty well split, even 2,500 square feet in the tap room and 2,500 square feet back here in the production space. We also have the outdoor space that we just finished, which is 2,000 square feet in itself, with picnic tables and a fire pit and stuff like that. So.
And you guys have a kids area. Let's talk about that a little bit. It's something unique.
It was something that started with my grandkids, his kids, since they were down here all the time with us, building out. They started playing in there, and we thought it'd be kind of nice when the laws changed, since kids can now come into tap rooms, that they'd have actually someplace to go play. Because what we found touring around the tap rooms is that when kids start to get bored, they're, mommy, mommy, daddy, daddy, and parents don't want their kids bugging somebody else, and they get antsy when they start calling them, so everybody gets up and leaves.
Yeah.
So we thought if we could have a place for them to go play, they could go play, parents could enjoy a couple of beers and relax, and people who want to get away from the kids, as Alex said, we've got a lot of square footage, there's plenty of room.
Yeah.
There's a nice division there with people who want to watch their kids can sit at the bar that overlooks the kids' room and relax and watch their kids play.
It's perfect.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
We'd go on a lot of family vacations, and a lot of our family vacations ended up centering around hitting up a bunch of the craft breweries in whatever city we were in, and my wife and my two kids would be there, and it was not a fun time for my wife because she would be stuck watching the kids and taking care of them while we're sampling different things, and so
Yeah.
it was more or less a requirement from my wife that we include that if we were going to be doing this. So we obliged. It's been a nice little thing for us.
Nice.
Let's talk a little bit about what's on tap. How many taps do you have? Do you have any core beer?
So we have 10 taps. Right now we have 8 beers and a seltzer. We have 4 core beers. Our air quotes Kolsch and our off-kilter Scotch Ale. Those are 2 of the core beers. And then we will always have a seltzer and an IPA of some sort on. So it won't be necessarily the same flavor of seltzer or the same IPA, but we'll always have a seltzer and an IPA. And those are our 4 core taps. The other 6 we're going to rotate through, whether it be seasonal or special releases and stuff like that. So,
Right on. I'll just drill in on the air quotes Kolsch for a second because I've had that and enjoyed it. Why were we calling it air quotes?
so technically, it's like champagne with France, right? So technically, for it to be called a true Kolsch, it has to be brewed in Cologne, Germany. So since it's brewed here in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, not Cologne, Germany, it is a Kolsch style ale. So we put the air quotes on it since it's a Kolsch,
Gotcha.
not brewed in Cologne, Germany.
Do you guys have, whether it's here or elsewhere, favorite beer?
That's a tough one to narrow
Could you
down.
list a few?
How long do we have?
As long as we want to go. It's the beauty of a podcast.
One of my favorite breweries around here is Rough Tail.
Okay.
I like most everything they have there. They had a New Money Cash Grab not too long ago, and I'm a stout guy anyway. We happened to stumble onto it when they had it, and I drove all the way back to Oklahoma City a week later just to get more. That was awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of a lot of the breweries around here in Tulsa and Oklahoma City, but I have to second Rough Tail as being one of my favorites, not just in Oklahoma, just in general. So.
Yeah. Get that. Do you have a favorite one that you guys make?
My favorite ones are Doppelbock, our
Okay.
terminal velocity. It was late on tap because it lagers for over 100 days, so we didn't have it initially, but I was a fan of our Scotch Ale. We've discussed that one a lot. I like sweeter finished beers. He doesn't, and we kind of discussed that brew for a while, and that was my favorite until we tapped our terminal velocity, and that took over.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Terminal Velocity Doppelbock is my favorite. We had released a pastry stout a couple months ago that I liked. That was my favorite, but it was a small batch.
Is that the peanut butter?
No, it was not the peanut butter.
Oh.
The pastry, it was Stay Puft Imperial Pastry Stout. It was 14% ABV with a bunch of toasted marshmallow and toasted coconut, and vanilla beans and toasted cocoa nibs, and we dosed it with a pound of brown sugar per gallon.
Oh, nice.
And it was we do a pilot series when we do small experimental batches. We do 10 gallons of it at a time, and we only sell it in 4-ounce pours, and we sold out of it in 2 days. So we didn't get enough of it because I only got to sample it once, and then we sold the rest of it. So we'll be making it again.
Right
and,
on.
Eventually, we'll make it as a big batch, but we'll see. So right now, we only have one stout on the menu, just with it being summer. But as soon as it rolls over to the fall and winter time, we'll start to the saison will go off the menu, and we'll start to put a few more stouts on when it gets to the colder weather. Then
Makes sense.
yep.
What is your favorite thing about craft beer?
The variety of flavors, and even the same style of beer, going to different places and trying the same style, it can be completely different, and it's just very enjoyable to experience all the different things that people do and see the creativity that craft brewers bring.
A couple thoughts on that. I agree with Alex. Just the fun of trying so many different beers. There's so many to try out there. But it also, one thing that we found here, it tends to bring people together.
Yeah.
Craft beer is a friendly group for the most part, and we've had a couple of things here that are really touching. Actually, we had one of our regular customers that comes in had been kind of separated from his boys. He has 3 boys, and the first time they'd all been together in 7 years was here.
Oh, nice.
At this place. So it's that kind of thing that you not only like the beer, but you like the people.
Yeah.
The people that are involved in craft are amazing.
Well, another thing we like to ask folks, especially when they're first opening, have you guys had your holy shit moment yet, where you go, oh my gosh, this has really happened, we've got a brewery?
Would that be like today?
Okay. Is it every day?
We could go every day on an oh shit moment. For me, probably the first really oh shit moment was the day we got our first load of our equipment. Comes in a shipping container. It's supposed to be here at 8 o'clock, and the company gives you about 2 hours to get it unloaded, and they want it off in their truck out of here. And it was supposed to be at 8. Our whole group was here about 8:15, nothing, 8:30, nothing. So I started calling around. Turns out it was still on the ground in Kansas somewhere. So our vendor did a great job jumping on the phone and finding somebody to get it, but it didn't get here until about 4:30 that evening. By the time it got here, it was pouring down rain. So when the truck got here, we went, oh shit. That's the first thing that pops to mind. You probably got a different one or more.
Oh yeah, most of the oh shit moments for me are the bad things happening, not the like, oh, we're really doing it. So those are the ones that come to mind to me. But those have been getting fewer and far between. It was almost daily that we were panicking for a while, and, but now that we're getting a little bit of experience under our belts, things have been going quite a bit more smoothly, I would say. We're getting a little bit better at this.
Your oh shit was probably the pressure.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good reminders that working back in the cellar of a brewery can actually be more dangerous than people understand. So
Yeah, I imagine.
Yeah.
So another question we like to ask everybody is, do you remember your first or epiphany craft beer, where you stopped drinking all the big name brands?
I remember mine very clearly. It was a pale ale by Left Hand out of Colorado. It's called Stranger Pale Ale. They don't make it anymore. I've looked, and that makes me sad. I would like to enjoy that beer now, so many years later, to see if I still enjoy it as much as I did back then. That was definitely the first beer that I remember really, really liking.
My first one was probably Moose Drool.
Oh yeah.
My wife and I used to go out to dinner on Friday nights, and we'd go to the same place all the time. And the lady that managed the bar there, they put it on tap and said, here's something I want you to try. And I said, well, I'm not a dark beer guy for the most part, so just try it. So I tried it, and from that day on, for about 2 years, I'd walk in the restaurant, she'd have a moose drill sitting on the bar for me every time I walked in. So that was probably my first memorable craft.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was one of both of our early. Yeah, it was moose drill. Are you guys looking to do any kind of distribution or anything?
Go ahead.
So yeah, we're on tap at 4 or 5 places right now. Right now we're just doing self-distribution with kegs, getting on tap at bars and restaurants. We've been wanting to expand our distribution slowly so that we don't run out of beer either here or when our customers want another keg, we want to be able to give that to them.
Sure.
So we want to make sure we don't short them. We don't want to short the people that are in our tap room. So we've been going fairly slow with that, but we're looking to grow that some right now. Now that our schedule is kind of put together and we understand the give and take there.
Yeah.
We're hoping that by the end of the year we can get a canning line and we can start distributing cans.
Right on.
So.
What are some of the events that you put on here, either weekly or that are upcoming?
We started off with bingo on Wednesdays. And that got fairly popular. We dabbled our toe in live music for a while, and it's kind of gotten more and more popular as we go. We do bingo every Wednesday now. We just started doing trivia 2 weeks ago on Thursday. His wife actually schedules our live music now, and we're scheduled, I think, every Saturday with live music into September, mid-September, late September. So that's become very popular. Draws a good group of people, too, that really enjoy the beer-music combo. So we have a group of guys that comes in that they don't even have a name for their group. They just play for fun. And they just randomly showed up one Sunday here and said, do you mind if we play? He said, no, come on in. So we talked him into coming back the next Saturday, and it was probably one of the best evenings I've had, the most fun, because they just were super relaxed, and they'd start playing and say, I don't want to play that. What's another song? And somebody in the crowd would give them a song and show them the lyrics. They'd go down and play, and one guy went and sat at one of the tables and started playing guitars, and all people at that table started singing along with him and stuff. It was super relaxed, really a fun evening. So it's been really good on the live music thing. We do food trucks almost every Saturday, so weekends are pretty well booked up for us, and they've been pretty good.
We've had a stand-up comedy show in here twice, where it'll be a set of 4 stand-up comics that go through and perform, and that's gets a lot of laughs, fills a lot of seats in here for us, and then it's always a good time. And then we have a monthly cornhole tournament we do first Sunday of every month. So we do a lot of little events
along the way.
Yeah.
And then let's talk about the location a little bit, where people can physically find you, because it is kind of tucked in a nook, so to speak.
Fits our theme. Yeah. Fits the nook theme. But, yeah, we're back here in an industrial park, 909 South 12th Street, Broken Arrow. It's the southeast corner of 81st and Lynn Lane.
And we like to tell you, just put 909 South 12th Street in and trust your GPS.
Right.
There's a lot of people come, especially when it starts to get dark, and they turn down an industrial street and they go,
is this right?
Is this where I want to go? There's nothing back here.
Yeah.
It's worked out well for us, too, because for parking, our neighbors have been great. So,
good.
After 5 and on the weekends, park wherever you want. So it's worked out real well for that as well. So
awesome.
Really cool. Do you have any final thoughts that you want to throw on the podcast?
Probably, if you're thinking about doing it, do it. I read a book, Starting Your Own Brewery, and that was kind of the final line in the book. They went through the whole business plan process, bidding on equipment, designing your styles, blah, blah, blah. And the last kind of summary thing was, you can do it.
Yeah.
If you want to do it, do it. And I think that's true. And particularly in Oklahoma, craft beer is growing so much just in the last couple of years since the laws changed.
Mm-hmm.
My only caveat is if you do it, don't screw it up.
Yeah.
If you can make a go of it, it helps us all. And if it goes bad, it looks bad for us all. So we're kind of all in this together. So I think a rising tide raises all ships. And we're all the ships right now, so help raise us.
There you go.
Right on.
All right. Well, that's all we had. Thank you guys again for having us out today.
Oh, thanks for coming.
Yeah, of course.
Appreciate it.
You've just listened to another round of Pub Talk. Thanks again to the guys at the Nook for having us out today. If you like what you heard, show us some love all over social media at Pub Talk Podcast. And to continue getting alerts every time we drop an episode, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button before you go. You can also find out all you've ever wanted to know about the show and more by heading over to our website, pubtalkpodcast.com. And remember, folks, there's never anything too big or hard in life that you can't handle it over a few beers with your good friends. So until next time, just chill to the next episode.